Hi everybody, welcome to Math 1033 Intermediate Algebra. So this is the first orientation video. I'll probably end up doing two, just for time limit reasons. And the goal is to just kind of go through, basically to get you going for the first week, and then I'll be posting announcements throughout the course as we go. So right here I'm at our main Canvas page, and I hope you guys all know how to get here. And the first module that you'll see is called Start Here, so that's a good place to start. So I'm just going to click on orientation and kind of work our way through. So this is the first page you'll see when you click under Start Here. Welcome to Math 1033 Online. The first order of business is to watch the following videos, which I'll post the link after I make them. So I'm recording them now. So once I record them, you'll see the link, and presumably that's how you got here. After you watch the videos, make sure to read your syllabus. And when you click here, this will take you over to this syllabus tab on the left. And there are two documents that I have here. One is the actual syllabus, and then I also have an FAQs page. So I just want to pop into these just for a minute. So the syllabus, especially in an online course, it's pretty smart to read through this whole thing. I know you probably kind of ignore it for face-to-face classes, but since we don't meet all the time, it's really important to read through and understand the rules and regulations. Here's the grading policy, which is important, and you'll see those grades reflected in Canvas, the grade weightings. This talks about the required initial assignment due August 20th, which we'll get into in detail. Going through, I mean, all of this is important, but just for time's sake, I just want to highlight this last page where I've got the schedule for the course. So this is our course calendar. So you'll notice that in general, every Monday and Friday, you'll have module assignments due, homeworks and quizzes. You'll have a 2-day window, Tuesday to Wednesday every week, where you'll have a module exam. And then every Thursday, you'll have a scavenger hunt due. That's an assignment that's in Canvas. All the other assignments exist in my math lab or in my lab math. So I just wanted to point out this calendar here. And at the bottom, just to mention in my late work policy, you can turn in homework and quizzes late, as well as scavenger hunts late, but they all come with a late penalty, so make sure that you read that in detail. You cannot complete module exams or the final exam late, so make sure that you're taking those inside the testing window. If you miss those, then you will get a grade of 0, so don't do that. And also just a friendly PSA that due date DUE is different from a due date DO, so if something's due on Monday, you shouldn't start doing it on Monday. You should work on it ahead of time. The homework and quizzes for all the modules are open right now. So if you want to work ahead, that's certainly encouraged. So I just want to mention that usually people who run into trouble in this class, it's just a scheduling issue. It's not a math issue. It's just they haven't scheduled out their time properly. So just be aware of that. It's a fast-paced course, and I just want to warn everybody of that ahead of time. So back to that orientation tab, you guys will watch the video, you'll read the syllabus and FAQs page, and then your next order of business is to get through the required initial assignment by August 20th. The first part of that will be something called an orientation quiz, which will cover a lot of the stuff that we're talking about in this video and in those two documents. And just on that topic, what I was mentioning before, this course is not for everybody. It's a fast-paced online course, which just straightforward is probably the hardest format of this course for everybody. If you need a lot of hand-holding, if you have a lot of math anxiety, a face-to-face class is probably going to be better for you. Or if you have a really, really busy schedule, a 16-week class is going to be better for you. There's a lot of stuff due every week, and I like to think of it as you're basically taking on a new 15 to 20 hour per week job over the next 8 weeks. If you had this class face-to-face, you'd be meeting in person for 8 hours every week. And then on top of that, you have probably another at least 8 hours of assignments and studying. So 15 to 20 hours is a safe estimate for the weekly time commitment. So it's not nothing. Make sure that you have time for that. And if you don't, remember that the drop date is Saturday, August 21st. If you drop by that date, then the course doesn't appear in your schedule. You get a course refund. And then, you can take this course at a later date in a different format. I also mentioned here, and we'll see this later, there's a temporary access option when you go to register for my lab math. And I recommend that everybody does this, especially if you decide to drop the course by Saturday. If you register for my lab math on Monday and use temporary access, then you're not out any cash. If you do the full paid version, then even if you drop the course, you've already lost that $100 or so paying for my lab math. So go ahead and use the temporary access. It doesn't hurt. It gets you in for 14 days for free, so you can work on the assignments and get a feel for the class. And then if you want to jump ship, you're not out any money. All right, so I'm just clicking this next tab. This specifies the 6 parts of the required initial assignment, due Friday, August 20th. So first up is the orientation quiz. A reminder that you need to watch the orientation videos, which you're doing right now, so good job. And then also read the syllabus and that FAQs page, which you can find in this tab over here. You'll take the quiz, you'll get 100% on it, you have unlimited attempts. If you've watched these videos and gone through those documents, you'll know everything. Easy peasy. And it's open notes, so no pressure. All right, so after you take the orientation quiz, the next thing is to enroll in my lab math. That's where most of your assignments will take place in this course. And I tried to put a little time estimate for all of these parts. So this will take about 15 minutes if I had to estimate, probably a lot less, honestly. And I just want to mention that temporary access I was talking about. When you get to this registration page, you'll see this link at the bottom. They kind of hide it, so it's a little bit tough to see. But I just want to mention that it's a little bit hidden, so just keep an eye out for that. All right. Also up here, it'll give you the option of an 18-week access, which is cheaper, or 2-year access, which is more expensive, but you have a longer access. For most of you guys, I would recommend the 18-week access, unless you think there's a really high likelihood for some reason that you might not pass this course. And then in that case, it would be smart to probably get the 2-year access. And then if you need to retake the course, you still have the ability to get into my lab math. Next up is a little browser check. I'm not going to do that, but that's just for you at home. And I'm going to go ahead and click this and see if it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't when I'm in student view. So let's cross our fingers. So now I'm going to enroll in my lab math. And you'll, of course, read all this legal jargon. Go down here and then click I accept. And then if you've used my lab math before or a my lab product, you can go ahead and type in your username and password. And that should take you to this page. So this is where you can either type in an access code if you've purchased this already from the bookstore, or you can pay by credit card right here. This is the 2-year version. This is the 18-week version. You can see it's a lot cheaper. So for most students, this is fine. For me, I truly don't care which one you use. They both get you into your assignments. And then down here is the temporary access. But this is where I'm going to leave it because I don't want to pay any money and I'm just a pretend student. You guys will pick one of those options. I'm going to click out of here. Okay, so I'm going to continue. So in theory, I've just enrolled in my lab math. Again, I'm in student view, so it might be a little glitchy, so bear with me when I try to get back in here. But for you guys, it should be fine. All right, next up is complete the first 4 Module 1 assignments in my lab math. This will vary pretty widely as far as time commitment. If you're pretty solid in algebra, it might not be that long, maybe even an hour. I'd say for most students, you can expect like 2 or 3 hours, depending on how rusty you are. So it's these first 4 assignments, which you'll see when you get into the My Lab Math assignment page. And just a note, you'll see this as you're in there, but you want to get at least 85% on homeworks and at least 70% on quizzes. Quizzes are timed, homeworks you have unlimited time and attempts. I'm going to click next and let's see what happens. So for you guys, once you enroll in My Lab Math, then whenever you see any of these all assignments tabs, it'll take you right into the course. And let's see what it does for me. Hey, it worked. Okay. So these first 4 assignments are what you're required to do by August 20th, and you can see the due dates over here as well. So since we're in here, these flags tell you that you need the previous assignment to be completed before you can get into the next assignment. You do need to complete these assignments sequentially in order. So I'm just going to hop into this very first one. So this is what a typical assignment looks like, and it's got 16 questions, but I also want to point out that there are videos over here on the left. So we don't meet in class, so these videos are assigned for you to watch before you attempt these questions. And your total score in this assignment is out of 20 points, 16 of the homework questions, and then watching the 4 videos. So the videos are part of your score. If you don't watch them, you can't get 100%. So if you get all the questions right and your score isn't 100%, the reason is you're trying to be cute and skipping the videos, but don't do that. Watch the videos. That's part of your grade. And I just want to hop into maybe this question. I'm going to pick just a random question. So it says solve the equation. I'm just going to make up a presumably wrong answer. So I'll type 1, I'll check my answer. It tells me right away if it's right or wrong. I'm pretty dim, so I'm going to stick with 1, even though they told me it's wrong. And I'm going to click final check. So they give you a few tries, and then at a certain point, they're like, all right, lady, you're guessing. So the correct answer was 7/2. I was answering 1. So you can move on to the next question if you're sick of this one and then come back to it, or you can click similar question, and it generates new numbers so that you can work on the question again. So in theory, everybody should have 100% on these homework assignments because they give you unlimited chances at getting these questions right. And let me see, they updated the interface. So the help buttons are actually down here now for those of you guys who've used my lab math before. So the 2 that students find pretty useful are help me solve this and view an example. But if you click here, there's also a link to this section in the textbook, which I strongly recommend going through. Or there's the Ask My Instructor option. And if you choose this, this is my email address and it'll send an exact copy of this question. So if you're using this and asking for help, just please give me as much info as possible. Say, I found the LCD, equals 6. I multiplied to clear the fractions. I got the equation, blah, 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 blah. And then the more info you can give me, the more help I'll be able to give you back. Okay. Now I got this question wrong, so I still have a 0, but assuming that I got it right, I would want to save my work just like it's in a Word document. So don't overwhelm yourself. Just do like 5 questions at a time. Go take your dog for a walk, come back, do another 5 questions. So you don't need to do 100 questions in a row. Do them bit by bit. That's probably the healthiest way mentally to work on these. And then when you get into quizzes, you'll see there's a time limit. This is the late penalty. You can work on them late, but I don't recommend it because then you lose a little bit of your points. So just keep an eye on that. Okay, so you'll do those first 4 assignments. That'll take a little bit of time, so that's probably the most time-consuming part of these week 1 assignments. Next up, you'll write a discussion post and make sure that you answer these questions that I ask you. I kind of use these as a little bit of an advising tool. So I want to know the most recent math class you've successfully completed, just to make sure you have the prerequisite that's required. Math 1033 is a prereq for 2 courses, statistics and college algebra. So I want to know which of those you're taking. Excuse me. And I do want to mention that Math 1033 used to be a prereq for MGF 1106 and MGF 1107. It is no longer. So if these are the next 2 classes you're taking, get out of here. You don't need this class. And then the third question is just, for funsies, some weird fact you'd like me to know about you. Also, I want you guys to post and then also reply to at least another student's post to receive credit. You can reply to more, but at least 1 student. All right, next up, send your instructor a Canvas message with the following information. And obviously read it and make sure that you understand it. Let me know if you have any questions. But I want you to copy and paste this text and then go in and send me a message. So go to inbox, send your instructor a message, and paste that info. And you can say hi to me and introduce yourself in there as well, but I definitely need this info in a Canvas message from you. All right, and next up is the Math 1033 pretest. This is the other part that might take a little bit of time, just because it also involves something called honor lock. So actually, since I'm running out of time, I only have a 15-minute time limit here. I might stop here and talk more about honor lock in the next video. So let's go ahead and pause here, and we'll pick up here in the next one.